Welcome to Lit Happens, Saskatchewan's showcase of the literary talent of the province. We're out on location at the new Amazing Stories on 8th Street in Saskatoon, and this place is wonderful. So, I'd like to welcome my guest, Colin Chatfield, to the show.
Hi.
Colin, it's so great you're here.
Thanks for having me.
It's awesome. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, so it's great.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about your little book here, which is having a really good run in Saskatoon and around the province. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself, Colin, and what led to you wanting to write this?
Well, first of all, I'm from Saskatoon, so I've lived here for most of my life. And I currently work as an early childhood educator. And so I've been doing that for a couple of years and teaching preschool and that. So I've always enjoyed working with kids. And so I actually wrote this book for my daughter, and she was 5 at the time. And we were all going through kind of a rough period. And I wanted to just do something special for her to kind of brighten her spirits and that sort of thing. So so I wrote this, and her and I really connected over books, and from a very early age, and started reading to her before she was 2, and she really enjoyed Dr. Seuss books, and so I wrote this in the style of Dr. Seuss, and borrowed some themes from him. So, yeah.
Nice. And just tell us a little bit about the premise of the book and the theme of the story that runs through it.
Well, the book I wrote it kind of dealing with some self-esteem issues I had when I was a kid.
Right.
So I had trouble reading, well, early on, and so my parents sent me to the university to get help reading in grade 4, which helped immensely. And I was always really small, right? So I was always the smallest in my class, and would get picked on and stuff like that. So just kind of dealing with my own self-esteem issues. And so the theme of the book is loosely based around self-esteem of this little fish. And so he's really small, and he has these dreams about being all sorts of different things, like bigger and taller and that. But then in the end, he realizes he's happy being who he is.
Great. I think that's a great theme that sort of resonates with a lot of what's going on in society these days.
Yeah, for sure.
So the book's been out for a while now. What kind of feedback are you getting?
Actually, really, really positive feedback.
Yeah.
It's been doing really well. You know, I made it to #2 on the McNally bestseller list for the young readers, and which was really neat because that week I was right ahead of Dr. Seuss and all the Divergent books.
Cool.
And so that was really, really special, actually. And the illustrations, Alyssa Thompson from Saskatoon here did the illustrations, and she did a really fantastic job. And
yes, I was just flipping through it.
So yeah, and they're really rich and vibrant and eye-catching for kids, and yeah, she did a wonderful job on that. So
yeah, actually, I was speaking with one of the staff members at Saskatoon's McNally Robinson, just up the street here. And they said this has been one of the hot kids books in the last year or so. So
yeah,
so it's kudos to you.
Yeah, well, I got to give credit to McNally too. They really, really are a great bookstore. Yeah, and they really promote local artists and do a really fantastic job, and the staff there is really, really great. You know, I walk in the store, they know me by name, and and that, so they're really fantastic there.
Yeah, great sense of community in the book world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see you have a lot of ambition, a lot of energy. Something tells me you want to even go further with this message. So what's on the agenda for you next few months?
Well, I'd like to get more exposure. I actually have done some readings at some schools and some daycares and preschools, so I'd like to keep doing that. And I usually go talk for an hour or even a couple hours, and just talk about self-esteem and issues that way. Just getting kids to recognize the importance of being who you are, and that it's okay that everyone's different, and diversity, and just accepting yourself for who you are, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. You know, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have.
You know, it's a valuable thing, and the other thing is to get kids reading.
Yeah.
You know, kids are losing the inspiration for reading nowadays.
It's a big issue.
And you know, once a kid learns how to read, I mean, it just opens up so many doors, and just the world of knowledge. And, you know, there's nothing you can't do if you can't read. You know, and I learned that the hard way as well, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that my parents recognize that too.
Yeah.
And so with each of my kids, you know, recognizing the importance of reading, I started reading to them before each of them were 2, and I've seen, you know, them excel. You know, my daughter is in grade 2. She reads at a grade 5 level, and
Awesome.
you know, 100% on all her spelling tests because she has the basis. You know, I mean, I would love to be part of the Literacy for Life conference, and you know, that sort of thing, and so and go from there. So yeah.
I can see you have a lot of energy, so I would say you've got a bright future ahead of you with this.
Thanks. I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're running out of time, but I wanted to ask you, what does it feel like when you're addressing a group of students, a classroom, and they're looking up to you and they want you to rock their little world? Is that a little overwhelming, or does it feel okay?
Oh, and I love doing that.
Great.
I love working with kids, and I've always worked with kids in some fashion.
Yeah.
And just, you know, seeing them, you know, light up when their teacher says, "Oh, you know, this person from Saskatoon wrote this book and he's going to come talk to you," and just being able to talk to them and share my story.
Yeah.
But then hearing afterwards from parents, you know, sending me emails or that sort of thing, saying, "Oh, you know, my kid today came home from school and said that there was a local author that came in and talked to them, and they loved the book and they want, you know, to go buy the book," and so that's really rewarding. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know we're almost out of time, but where in Saskatchewan can viewers find the book?
All right, so far in Saskatoon.
Nice.
I'm hoping to expand to other centers, but at McNally Robinson, at Indigo, and at the So Cute Kids Boutique in Market Mall.
Great.
And at the Saskmaid Marketplace. Awesome. And hopefully, you know, some more stores will come online soon. So.
Awesome. And what about, are you active online? Website, social media?
At the moment, through Twitter and Facebook. So I have a Facebook page called If a Fish Had a Wish, and on Twitter, you know, my handle is Chatfield Photo.
Nice.
And I also have I'm a photographer too.
Great.
So they can connect with me through my photography page at Chatfield Photographics as well. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know we have to get you out of here. You have a day job to get to, like a lot of writers in the world. So I just want to thank you for coming up here to Amazing Stories today and sharing with us.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's all the time we have today for Lit Happens. If you enjoyed today's segment, you can see previous episodes on the Shaw TV website or on my website, westfunk.ca, and you can connect with us online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So I'll see you next time on Lit Happens.